Hello, and welcome back to Umineko. When last we left off, Kanon went on a sort of not date with Jessica and saw her performing on a stage. Wasn't the cultural festival at Jessica's school today? How is the principal doing? He seemed to be in good health. That's right. Diet member Takemiya was also there. He said to give you his regards. Busy as usual? It appeared so. That person is also very energetic. Oh, and I believe President Imoto also made an appearance. Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the Higurashi family, who were celebrities around here. Natsu remembered the name of one VIP after another at that social gathering, telling Cress the news about them. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion, and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup. Milady, perhaps you ought to take more care with your manners. Yeah, sorry about that. Jessica, how many times must I tell you to watch your language? Yes, ma'am. Jessica answered, discouraged. When he saw that, Cress smiled a little and paused his conversation with Natsuhi. How was the festival for you, Jessica? Huh? Well, it was okay. I was watching. You did an excellent job. Huh? Well... Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't imagined that Natsuhi would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't really wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Higurashi family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear her parents say she'd done a good job after watching her try her best. Jessica acted with both composure and dignity. Fitting behavior for the student's representative. Yeah. The smile that had been there until a second ago crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately realized that her mom was talking about something different. Jessica was also the school's student president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she'd grudgingly accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. So Natsuhi was praising her for the student council sponsorship ceremony at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried that out half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time. That experience of standing above people and bearing responsibility will surely prove useful in the future. I'm sure it will help Jessica mature as a member of the Higurashi family. But you rushed a little while giving the greeting. You get a pass on content, but the fast pace of your speech lessened the impact. It might help if you developed a habit of pausing every once in a while. Yeah. After she finished eating, Jessica didn't feel like going straight to her room. Her room was basically the place her parents had ordered her to be. So perhaps for Jessica, instead of returning to her own room, being in an unknown location in this large mansion was a meager form of resistance. Jessica felt that even being in the mansion made it hard to breathe, so she went outside, to the rose garden. Well, even if she did show up, I'm sure she would have said something about how it wasn't appropriate for a successor of the Ashuramia family. So isn't it better this way? Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over. She laughed at what kind of words she could possibly have been expecting. That was dumb of me. In the end, I was just acting like an entitled brat. I'm a little exasperated with myself, and it makes me want to laugh. Milady. What? Kanon, don't scare me like that. Just as she was about to force a laugh, Kanon suddenly started talking to her, and she choked. What's up? Got something to say? Yes? Jessica's expression became the one she always wore when looking at Kanon. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he had still only known Jessica as the eventual successor to the Ashuramia family, as he had until yesterday, he might have mistakenly thought that Jessica's mood had sprung back to normal. But that wasn't right. He now knew a part of her that he couldn't have seen until yesterday. So he understood that there was no way Jessica actually felt the way she appeared. Oh, about today's cultural festival. Well, thanks for coming with me so I could show off. You saved my butt out there. That song. You were really good. What? Ah. Ha? Really? You're embarrassing me. Even though she had heard the words she most wanted to hear, Jessica acted shyly and couldn't accept them openly. I cannot sing, and I don't know how to play any instruments other than the harmonica and the recorder, which I learned in elementary school. So I simply assumed you were the same, milady. At the time, Kanon had never felt as though he'd been looking down on Jessica in this way. But all the people he'd seen playing special instruments were on the other side of the brown tubes in the TV. At the very least, he'd been under the impression that it'd be impossible for Jessica. I am furniture, so I didn't believe there was any need to sing or play instruments. But I'm not sure anymore. Seriously, Kanon-kun, enough with that I am furniture business. That's like a proper attitude you servants are supposed to have, right? Servants are supposed to be like living furniture. Geji-san says it a lot. It isn't just a proper attitude, because we really are furniture. I know the kids from the Fukuin house receive assistance from grandfather in various ways, and I realize how grateful you are for that. But it's a bit cruel for you to have to call yourself furniture just because of that. We're all human, aren't we? Kanon-kun, when you saw me singing, what did you think? It looked like you were having a lot of fun. I don't think that's true. Huh? You didn't just think it looked fun. You were envious, weren't you? That's not... Kanon probably hadn't noticed that emotion himself. Most likely, Kanon saw something he'd never seen before, learned about it for the first time, and felt envious. And to trick himself out of that emotion, he'd called himself furniture over and over. I know I'm a successor to the Higurashi family or whatever, and, well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of annoying stuff to do from now on. As far as that goes, I can't do anything but give up, since I was born under an unlucky star. Probably, just like you had to live at Fukuin House, I don't have a choice either. I couldn't choose the stars under which I was born. That may be true. But there's one place where you and I are completely different. Know what that is? I am furniture, and the lady is not. He was about to say that, but stopped. I do not know. Kanon-kun, you decided that your fate determines everything about you, and you gave up. But I can't accept this kind of fate, so I do the best I can. So, while there's still the rigid and cornered me that's gotta stay as the daughter of the Higurashi family, I've created another me that can do what I like to the fullest. Another you. Yeah. Kanon-kun, you've been instructed to say, because I am furniture. I'm sure you've gone through a lot of tough times just because of that. I think that's really unfortunate. But the idea that your entire life will be decided by that alone just seems sad to me. You know, it's always possible for people to create another self inside them. A self that they can truly grow to like. I'm not talking about escaping from reality, okay? When I'm that other self, I can really feel like I'm living a great life. So no matter how constrained and boring everyday life gets to be, I can always live on without suffocating. To make another self inside yourself that you can truly grow to like. To make another me, one that isn't furniture. Through her relationship with George-sama, has Shannon given birth to another self that isn't furniture? And did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture? That's right. Well, I don't know anything about your private life, Kanon-kun, but I can sorta guess. Your private life probably doesn't exist at all. Am I right? Kanon couldn't reply, but that was answer enough. He had no concept of a private life. So, Kanon would always be Kanon. So furniture would always be furniture. Kanon-kun. Kanon isn't your real name, right? In the Fukuin house, new graduates would be given new families and a new life, so they were also given a new name. In his case, that was Kanon. Certainly, this name of mine may be a temporary thing. Before, he had thought of himself as Kanon, and no one else. But he remembered. There definitely had been another self that wasn't Kanon. But that was far, far away, beyond the distant fog of oblivion. So even for you, it should be okay to have times when you're Kanon-kun and times when you aren't. Maybe when you act as a servant, that Kanon-kun calls himself furniture, strictly limits his will. But when you aren't Kanon-kun, I think it's okay to live much, much more freely. Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had also been like this in the past. She had cursed her own birth into an environment different from all of her friends at school. Only she had been in a heavily constricted environment, forced to learn all sorts of things. And she had even been told whom she was and wasn't allowed to play with. It may have been sad, but she'd given up, resigning herself to the fact that she'd been born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like Ashuramia family customs and pressure didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside herself, one who could do what she really wanted to do. You know, I go by the nickname Jessie at school. When I'm Jessie, I live life honestly and to the fullest. And because of that, I can do my best when I'm Jessica too. Would it really be so bad if you could also have times when you're Kanon and times when you're your real name? When you aren't Kanon, can't you try becoming another self that you can like? A time when I am not Kanon. He'd once thought of his real name as being completely meaningless. Because of that, he thought that Kanon summed up everything about him. And now, Jessica was telling him to create something new, another self that wasn't Kanon. Kanon-kun, if you don't mind, tell me, what's your real name? He was silent for quite some time. Maybe Kanon's real name had risen to the tip of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time over whether he should say it, in the end, he swallowed it back down. I forgot. My name doesn't matter anymore. Those words contained a faint rejection. No matter what kind of real name I had, the only truth now is that here I am Kanon. The past has nothing to do with anything. The materials with which furniture is made, be it a trunk of a tree or otherwise, are meaningless in the end. I told you to stop that. You aren't furniture, you're human, right? I am not human. Kanon clearly voiced his refusal. It was with a rage that he normally didn't show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent. You are human, milady, so you are free to live any way you please. And any kind of future is possible for you. It's almost like you have wings and can dance through the sky like a bird. But I am not like that. Even if I looked like a bird, I'd be nothing more than a domestic duck. Even though they have wings, they cannot fly. To speak to me of that dream in the sky despite that, it's just too cruel. Furniture and ducks! What the hell is all this? No. Jessica had unconsciously gone along with Kanon's forceful manner of speaking, but she realized she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know your upbringing, and I don't know the hardships you've been through. So I can't even imagine why you started calling yourself furniture. But know this, you aren't furniture or a duck. You're a real human. If you want to say Kanon-kun's furniture when he's working as a servant, that's fine. But in that case, don't you think you can create a self for when you aren't furniture? For when you're human? Only a human like Milady can embrace that possibility. I am not like that. I have no future, no possibilities, no dream that I am allowed to see. So, Milady, please don't say any more cruel things. Why? Why do you say stuff like that? Because it seems you mistakenly think I am a human, the same as you, milady. We are different sorts of beings. I just wanted to make that clear. I heard from Shannon. Something about milady liking me. Huh? What? No. I look almost identical to a human. So, like Shannon, I could probably delude myself into thinking I'm human and pretend to love for a time. But then I would surely be fooling myself. No, I would be fooling you too, milady. Shannon and George-sama will definitely fall apart. Even though Shannon herself probably realizes that day will come. She's taking part in such a stupid... There's nothing stupid about it! Sure, George Nissan's a wonderful person, and he's gotta match up to his parents' expectations. I'm sure when it comes to marriage, Aunt Ava will interfere in various ways, and, I think their future prospects look like they'll be full of trouble. Okay? But you know what? George Nissan isn't the kind of guy who'll surrender to that shit. Shannon's no Juliet, and he'll definitely bring her happiness. People cannot engage in romance with furniture. What I'm trying to say is that even if you can love furniture, I cannot love you, milady. Those words of Kanon's crushed all of Jessica's bittersweet feelings from that day. There was no way her emotions could have predicted that she'd be refused so bluntly. In an instant, she lost the willpower that had led her to try and unravel something stubborn in Kanon's heart. And before she knew it, she was just standing there in shock. Milady, if your feelings for me were due to my conceit, then I must ask that you forgive me. No. Well, I won't deny that. Thank you very much. Huh? Thank you very much for thinking of me as a human. Those feelings alone really do make me happy. Anything more would be too cruel for me. So... No, I've said enough. Sorry about that. Jessica recklessly scratched at her head and spoke, trying to force her voice to sound bright. I just kinda ran on ahead by myself and was a burden on you. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for causing so much trouble on your precious day off. No, I was also happy that I could see you having fun. Then, let's call it a night. If I don't go back to my room and turn off the lights, Mom will get mad at me again. Ha 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 ha. That's probably for the best. I wish you a good night, milady. Yeah. Good night. Kanon saw Jessica trot away with her back to him, looking disheartened. But then, she suddenly broke into a reckless dash and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her back, for just an instant, Kanon was tormented by the feeling that he'd just made a huge mistake. But he hadn't made a mistake at all. He'd been forced to refuse her now for her sake, while the pain was still at its smallest. Nice going, making a woman cry like that. I didn't expect you to refuse her that strongly. If you'd given a normal answer, another pair of lovers would have been born, thanks to my magic. How long have you been there? What a horrible person. When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time, watching the two of them as though enjoying a play. I shall forgive you for your insults just this once, in deference to that amusing little show. Even after 1,000 years, no more interesting show exists than complications between boys and girls. To me, it's a pleasure that's better and more addictive than opium. Kanon pulled the butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was the manifestation of the great magic the witch had bestowed. Without hesitation, Kanon slammed it against the ground and stomped on it. Oh, what is the meaning of this? You know that was given by me. Just now I figured it out. What you're doing isn't as tasteful as being a cupid of love. You're just a demon who enjoys showing love to those who can never be together, deceiving them. You're free to think that. Most humans I lend my power to say the same thing. Don't play dumb. You didn't lend Shannon your power because you felt sorry for her. You found a weak point in Shannon's heart as her chest burned with love, and you made her break the mirror that sealed you. What's more, you guessed how this would all end, and now you're toying with her. Am I wrong? Furniture has a thoroughly pitiful existence. So you have no dreams, no future, and even no love? Good, good. There's nothing better than knowing your place. As you noticed, there was a faint love residing in Jessica's heart. You seem to think you've snipped it in the bud. But did you know? Trees grow thicker branches if you thin out and prune them. A girl who loves furniture, is it? Amusing, how truly amusing. Shannon and George will also eventually reach a stalemate with their unfulfillable love, ripening into the sort of large fruit I love. However, regretfully, it seems to be going so smoothly for those two that it's hardly entertaining anymore. But on the plus side, it seems the two of you will amuse me to no end. The witch laughed. Even though she had known the two could never be together, she had lent magic to bring them together. However, they couldn't escape the fate that prevented them from ever being truly joined. The witch knew that. Even if they were joined, Shannon and George, Kanon and Jessica would eventually break up. They would wander through an endless desert in this hell of love, tormented by an eternal thirst. What, did you think I'd lend you my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love, and in exchange, I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I have never come across a better show, not over the course of 1,000 years. Just look at Kinzo. See how he ended up? An old, pitiful man who learned the taste of love before being thrown out of paradise. Look at how he lives, like a dead man that cannot fully die. You truly are a witch. Disappear. Get out of my sight, demon. Oh, I would disappear even without you prompting. My power still hasn't returned. It is still tiring to continue showing myself. I overdid it when I gave you love as my power. As I am now, it will not be easy to maintain that power without that brooch as a catalyst. Kanon ground his foot even more into the stomped brooch. He felt it break under his foot. Then it evaporated like water and changed into butterflies that sparkled gold, fluttering out from beneath Kanon's foot. Maintaining this form is quite painful for me as well. I will hide myself for a time, just as you desire. My magical power will rise as surely as the moon and the tides. And eventually, a fitting time will come for my revival. I know not in the slightest whether that will be tomorrow, next year, or even 100 or 1,000 years in the future. But as long as there are those who entertain me, I will surely gain power and revive. I will disappear for a short while, until that time comes. The bruise on the palm of your hand is already gone, so if you wish, tomorrow morning, you can let my existence vanish like an illusion or a dream. After all, nothing saddens me more than being forgotten. However, I will surely be revived. Be on your guard, so that you will not regret that day's coming when it arrives. I will surely have my second coming, and rule over everything as this island's true master. That is the time when the door to the Golden Land will be opened again. The greedy dead will shortly wake me. You talk too much. Disappear now, Golden Witch. The witch became a cloud of gold butterflies and scattered away, leaving behind a scornful laugh. The whole area sparkled like a gold blizzard in a snow globe. It was a fleeting, fantastical scene that disappeared in a heartbeat. The witch could no longer be seen. However, Kanon felt like he could still hear that shrill, unpleasant laugh. Ah, how amusing, how truly amusing. Why is the human world still so amusing after all the years I've been away? Go mad with love, go mad with gold. Those who don't go mad from one of the two are not human. I see, so that's why the word furniture is so fitting. Furniture is created to serve humans, and I cruelly treat humans as playthings to sate my 1,000 years of boredom. What a truly amusing three-way deadlock that I cannot control furniture. Kinzo, you fool, what a truly entertaining scheme you've worked at. Furniture, you fools, just try and see if you can fell me. Tonight, 2 seeds of love have been sown. Including the one already sown, that makes 3. Beatrice, why did you leave me alone in this painful world? I hate you. I will hate you for all eternity for not even trying to answer, despite being yearned for so. Master, drinking any more will be damaging to your health. Dr. Nanjo warned you as well, did he not? Be silent, Genji! You do not understand my grief and sadness. And I believed at least you, my oldest friend, would understand my pain. Why can you not understand? Oh, Beatrice. Why did you leave me all alone? Ah, What the hell do you mean furniture? I don't get it. Ah! Oh, poor Jessica-sama. Even though the cries I hear coming from your room tell me of the situation, there is nothing I can do. This is all a tragedy, due to a pair who are too young getting too close when the positions of their birth are too distant. I can do nothing but understand my lady's feelings, hide my footsteps, and quietly walk away. What do you mean by that, George-san? I mean what I said. I still haven't built up my castle. Once I manage to do that, I'll finally be able to think of myself as an adult. When that happens, I want to marry you. That's, But my heart won't let me do that anymore. So I want to give you an engagement ring. Engagement? You say? But, I am furniture. Oh, right, that. Well then, furniture has to listen to what people say, right? Right now, I'm having a ring made that'll be fitting for you. I think it'll be ready in time for me to bring it to the upcoming family conference. I'll give it to you then, so please, I want you to let me hear your answer. If you accept, then I'll proclaim our engagement right there, in front of all the relatives, including grandfather. George-san. I'm sure some people won't approve of our relationship, but there's no need to look at their faces, because you only have to fill your eyes with me. I will definitely bring you happiness. That's the one thing I can promise you with certainty. I just can't wait to see how it will ripen. The gold butterflies do not swoop upon the juice of overripe and rotting fruit. I cannot wait for the day of the harvest to come. Is the time of the banquet here yet? The first day, October 4th, 1986. So this is the point at which we're beginning the actual family conference. Or we're on the road to it, I suppose. They had eaten breakfast at a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated with Halloween colors, since it was October. Maria had seemed to be awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins. But the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying trick or treat were nowhere in sight. Ooh, I want a Halloween festival. I don't want to wear these clothes. I want to look like a witch. Ew, ew. The family conference isn't for playing. We're going to meet grandfather, so we have to dress up nice. While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all the seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much you tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this. But that had probably been a mistake. Surely, Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she'd hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often. Halloween! Halloween! If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank! Ooh, ooh, ooh! I don't have any sweets to give you. We just ate breakfast. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Ooh, ooh, ooh. A stout old woman who was sitting nearby as Maria stomped her feet picked a candy out of her handbag and held it out to Maria. Ooh, I got a sweet. I got a sweet. Look, look, Mama! Mama! Happy Halloween! Hey, Maria, you can't just accept sweets from strangers, right? Give it back! Oh, don't worry about it. She's such a spirited young lady. How old is she? Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating. Maria, haven't I always told you not to accept sweets from strangers? Ew, ew. She gave it to me. Ew, ew. No, it's mine. Let go of it. How many times do I have to tell you to do what Mama says? It's mine. Mine. Ew. Ew, ew. Don't I always tell you not to say ooh, ooh? Ew, 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 ew. Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on her cheek. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them. Please, do not just give sweets to my daughter. I'm so sorry. Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held the candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she should say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child, and she accepted the candy back, apologizing. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying and shouting with her nose dripping. And there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them. Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere, as everyone began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train, and couldn't. When the train stopped, Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but before long she shouted and cried even more than before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. Ew, 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 ew. Mama, it hurts, Mama, it hurts. Ew, ew, ew. Didn't I tell you to shut up? That ooh ooh of yours. I told you to stop. That's the reason you can't make friends in class, right? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you still a kindergartner inside your head? Why can't you do what Mama says? Why? Why? With those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. And the more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted. Mama, it hurts! Mama, it hurts! Mama, save me! Mama, save me! Ooh, 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 ooh! Why can't you stop saying ooh, ooh? This is exactly why you can't make friends. This is why Papa's business trip never ends. This is why I... excuse me, ma'am. Is everything alright? Do you want something? The one who timidly called to her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore since they'd be getting on the next train. And then, finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. Rosa sweat slightly and felt a breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely. I did it. Again. As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again. Mama, 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 come back! Ooh, 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 ooh. Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus. Maria, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Mama, Mama, welcome back, welcome back. Finally, Maria realized that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest. Forgive your bad mama. Forgive your bad mama. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate your mama. Ooh, I'm just fine. Won't hate mama. Mama was only being possessed by the bad witch again. But you came back, so I'm just fine. Yeah, that's right. Mama was just being possessed by the evil witch again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out. Do you want to have a Halloween festival, Maria? Yeah, I wanted to show those pumpkin marshmallows to George Oni-chan and Jessica Oni-chan. It was a candy they'd been selling near the cash register at the shop where they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Maria had wanted it and had insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying there was no way she could buy sweets right after breakfast. Then Maria, I don't know if they sell these in this town or not, but let's get off and try searching for them, okay? Yeah. I love you, Mama. Love you so much. Thank you. I love you too, Maria. The truth was that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at a stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half a day behind schedule. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she'd ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweet with her mother, and that hand was warm. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had. Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same sweet, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup. Maybe we won't find a marshmallow exactly like that one, but hopefully we can find something like it. Let's buy some and surprise all your cousins together. Yeah, as long as we buy it together, any sweet is fine. They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red, but the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint. Dear, what are you doing in a place like this? Oh, it's you. It's nothing. I just find this a pleasant place to think. All of our preparations for today have been completed. Why don't we have some tea and relax while we wait? Forgive me. I'm always making you handle such troublesome matters. Please, rely on me even more. I am your wife. Naturally, I'm grateful to have you always coming to my aid. That's precisely why I'm able to devote myself to my work. I understand. I understand about your work. And the topic of father's inheritance, right? That has nothing to do with you. It's nothing more than fishing for rotten meat amongst greedy siblings. It's okay, dear. Everything will go well. Your businesses have never failed to work themselves out. Natsuhi softly cuddled close to Kreis's shoulder. She complimented Kreis on his hard work, but Natsuhi knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. Kreis's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Big investments can lead to massive payoffs. But like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot while moving very slowly, instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments so that the seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Kraus chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in a park. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it. And you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first, and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed, and nobody came to the opposite end? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Kraus noticed something. The weather's getting worse, so nobody's coming outside to play. But seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it would certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd end up longingly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone. That was Kraus's project, and his current situation. If only I'd had a bit more courage, and the self-confidence to believe in my own foresight, I would never have failed. Yes, that's true. Your foresight is never wrong. You are the only one who inherited Father's resourcefulness. You inherited an innate disposition that none of the other siblings did. But I could never believe in it. I always shut my own projects down like a coward. Why can't I believe in myself? Who would believe in a man who can't believe in himself? Nobody believes. I'm always sitting on the seat where the losers must sit. And my father, my mother, my siblings all sneer at me. How long is it going to take for me to be set free of this emotional complex? Just how long will it take? Natsuhi was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Kraus's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ashuramiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility, he couldn't open his pained heart to anyone, and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises. I've made preparations concerning all other matters, so that you will be able to devote your attention entirely to the family conference. Yes, everything else has been seen to. Thank you. Will there be any problems dealing with Father? No. Genji and Dr. Nanjo are on our side. I'll never allow those greeting siblings to make contact with Father. Hello, Goda here. Yes, please leave it to me. I'm anxious to put my skills to work for the big annual job. In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Normally, he had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference, he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year. Yes, dinner will be calf steak. A wonderful cut of meat is already anxiously waiting for tonight in the refrigerator. Please be sure to look forward to dinner. It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood towards his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ashurmiya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor. Understood. I will leave everything to you. Also, is Kumasawa there? Kumasawa-san? I happened to see her earlier, but she is not here. Perhaps she went to get things ready in the guest house. Is she loafing around again? No, it is fine. Please continue with your work. Yes, leave everything to me. Goda! Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumasawa, who was probably hiding again, even though things were this busy. And the ostentatious Goda, who only felt like doing anything on a day when he could show off. Excuse me, the preparations for all the rooms in the guest house are complete. We received instructions from Milady to prepare a room for 4 people, so that the children can spend the night together. So what shall we do? I hear Battler-sama will be coming for the first time in 6 years. Presumably, Milady wants to stay up late into the night with her 3 cousins. Make the preparations. You do not need to tell Madam. I see. Certainly. So tonight, we'll have the late night shift, followed immediately by the morning shift. It looks like these 2 days will be tiresome. Speaking of which, the weather forecast is saying a typhoon will strike this area. Will everything be alright? Assuming the typhoon doesn't stray too far from its course, it may affect the boat ride back for the family members. The family conference's schedule might be extended until Monday or Tuesday. Our task may be a long and tiring one, but I earnestly ask that you take care not to make any blunders. Shannon, remain calm and do not panic. Kanon, be sure to greet our guests in a sociable manner. Yes, I'll be careful. I'll be careful. Today we must conduct ourselves in a manner suitable for a very important guest. See to it that you make no blunders. We understand. All guests who visit here are important. Kanon, in the truest sense, we will be receiving a very important guest today. Make sure that you are prepared. Yes, sir. Shannon, is something the matter? You seem to be uneasy. Do you have some prior engagement at this time? Huh? No, it's nothing. My apologies. Nisan, important guests will be arriving today. Detach yourself from your private life. I don't know what you mean by private life. As Shannon blushed just a bit, she turned her gaze away from the clock. Was it about time for the airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima? She'd tried to hide the fact that her upcoming, long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race. But Kanon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her. And that's going to do it for this episode. Next time, I believe we're going to see everyone in the airport again, on their way to the island. Until then, thanks for watching.